hell yeah, the Hispanic, that Latino shit.
Oh, bro, I just opened this water without even asking.
No, you're good. It's there for you, bro.
Okay,
it's
thank
there
you.
for you.
Oh my god, I felt so crazy.
And whoever gets to this one first, bro, gets to it first, man. That's why it's there.
Oh, you don't want to test me?
Go drink as much as you want, bro. The only thing I ask is if you could try to pee after. But if you have to pee in between,
don't worry about that. You would. That's why I did it right now. I was like, I'm not gonna wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I have the bladder of an Iron Man, but
yeah, me too.
But at the same time, have you ever pissed yourself?
When I was a kid.
I pissed myself as an adult, bro. Like recently, like
really.
Yeah,
like well, full blown, the whole bladder out.
And not even that, bro. It was a bladder that was like overfilling. Like it was over. Like if the tank was there,
you couldn't sit up straight,
bro. It was bad. I was in Miami and I was with my boys, and his girl, and we were waiting in line to get into this club, and like both of my boys had to piss, and it was Halloween weekend. So we're Halloween weekend, Miami, right? So everybody's wilding out. And dude, I had obviously we were drinking and stuff, we were bar hopping and stuff, and we were finally going into this last club that had this long ass line, bro. We waited there for like an hour and a half just to get into this club, right? And while I'm waiting there, dude, there's ops everywhere. The streets are packed, bro. Like packed, bro. This is downtown. This is specifically what's Wynwood, Miami, right? And that's like the artsy fartsy district, and every single street in Wynwood, bro, was bumping, bro. Like you couldn't walk anywhere without bumping into anybody. That's how crazy it was. And then one of my boys, he was like, "Yo, I need to take a piss," and I was like, "Bro, we can't leave the line." He's like, "It's okay. I'm just gonna find somewhere to piss in the street." And I was like, "Damn, if you get caught by a cop, bro, in Miami, that's gonna suck, because then you're gonna need to go to court and you're gonna need to fly back here." That was going through my mind, right? My boy found some bush and he was fine, dude. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll hold it." Bro, I shit you not. The line keeps going, the line keeps going. We get to this one part where there's a door. It's an exit door. And the security guard's letting people out from there. And I look at him. I'm like, "Yo, dude, can you please? I will run to the bathroom and run right back out." And he's like, "Yo, I can't do that." And I was like, "Bro, like, I promise you, bro. Like, I'm about to piss myself." And he's like, "I can't do that." And I was like, "All right, fine." And bro, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And bro, like the pain I felt in my bladder, bro, I've never felt that in before. And on top of it, I was drunk. So I was like, fuck. So then we finally get to the front of the line. I literally just pay the lady. Like she was like, "How many of you is it?" I was like, "I don't care, put it on my card." And I just told my boys, like, "Yo, grab my card after she pays for it." And I just ran inside. Dude, I'm running through the dance floor. And I'm like, and people look at me like I'm crazy, bro. Like I'm just like fucking weave all through the fucking dance floor, right? I get to the bathroom. And there's a little bit of a line. But guys are pretty quick. So it's a little bit of a line. Bro, I literally get inside of the bathroom, right? And then like literally as I'm looking to go, there's only one stall and one urinal, right? And there's like fucking like 8 guys like sharing this one bathroom, right? Dude, as soon as I step inside, I see that the stall is open. So I was gonna go bum rush that, but then some guy took that, and another guy took the urinal, dude. And without me even trying, it
just flowed out.
It just full of there was no stopping it. Everything, bro. Everything, bro. And it's the most embarrassing, like defeating feeling, bro. Because the worst thing, I was wearing jeans, right? But wait. I was wearing black jeans. Right? So I just see, like, on the bottom cuff of my jeans, just drip. On the left side of my ankle, dude. On the left side of my ankle. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. It was defeating but released at the same time. Cause can you imagine how that piss felt, bro? Like it was like the most conflicting shit ever, bro. It's like, I don't even know. It's probably like getting punched in the face while you nut or something, bro. I have no idea. Like conflicting, right?
I could only imagine. There was times where I was holding my pee where I was like low key catching anxiety attacks from how much I was holding. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. I can't imagine being in that position, bro.
So I was fucked up. I got into I thankfully the stall opened up. I just grabbed all the toilet paper. I started patting myself down as much. But you know what? I didn't let it ruin my night, dude.
Nah, no, wait. Nobody brought you extra clothes?
Bro, no, bro. We were in the middle of Miami, right? Like our hotel was like about an hour away or like 45-minute drive away, right? Dude, like I was just like, there's one of two choices here. I'm wearing black jeans. Nobody knows. Dude, I just kept dancing the night away.
Did you wash them?
Dude, what was I supposed to do?
The sink.
Bro, the sink was probably dirtier than my jeans.
No, but like run it through water and then,
Bro,
you know.
how am I gonna look in the Miami bathroom with all these people like in my underwear? I don't know, dude.
Bro,
and you know what's weird? No, listen. I'm not saying it's not nasty. I'm not saying it's not nasty.
No. I'm not calling you nothing. I'm not judging you, bro. I'm not judging you. I'm just wondering, like,
bro, it came into my mind because my friend, she had told me, and it's so funny. A month prior, she was in New York City and she was running across the street, and she was wearing blue jeans. She had to pee so bad, but she has a tiny bladder, right? And she said while she was running across the street, in blue jeans, bro, terrible.
Oh my God.
And then I told her, I was like, and her school's out in Staten Island. She's in the middle of Manhattan. And they had to take a whole ferry and everything. And she's like, what was I gonna do? Was I gonna go home and just ruin the night for everybody else? And she's like, and I was like, yo, what did you do? And then she's like, I let the air dry. And I was like, no. So I felt a little like, honestly, if it wasn't for her story,
you would have felt like the only one.
Dude, I would have felt like I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the rest of my night, bro. I literally went back to the dance floor. I saw my friends dancing and stuff. And they're like, yo, did you make it? And I was like, nah.
But the fact that they didn't even notice.
Right?
You won.
I'm gonna keep dancing, bro. I'm gonna keep doing my thing.
Let me just personally, right? Personally.
Go ahead, bro.
I don't give a fuck how I look after that. Bro, everybody just saw me pee myself, bro. Y'all gonna watch me clean my pants.
Yeah. Yo, and it's what nobody noticed I peed myself though.
No.
That's the caveat about this whole shit. Maybe that's something I should have mentioned. While
was
this shit
no
was
puddle.
bro, dude, I shit you not. Oh, the floor itself, dude, was disgusting. That's what I'm saying. Like this Miami bathroom, bro, it's a club. You know what I mean? And all these guys are like dogging it, right? Literally, as my pee is dripping down like my leg, right? Like it's just joining the other puddles that are there. You know what I mean? It's not like
The other puddles.
Yeah, it's like a river going into an ocean, dude. It's like, are you gonna realize how much water the river's putting into the ocean? Like, no, the ocean's the ocean. So that's how it was. Nobody noticed, except if anybody was looking at my face, they'd probably see like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I was wilding. So nobody noticed. Had a great night, and yeah, that's like my pee story, bro.
Oh my God.
So that's a hell of a warm-up conversation.
Yeah, for real. Jesus.
Do me a favor, dude. I'm just going to adjust your mic real quick. Just try to keep it a little bit here.
Away from the face, right?
You can keep it like towards your mouth. Yeah, like I said, you want to think about like a chopstick going in the middle of this. I don't know if you've definitely been to the dentist before. I'm sounding like a dick. You know when they put that thing in your mouth for x-rays and stuff and they tell you to bite onto it? That's kind of how I think about it with the mics.
That's
like
what
if
it's
this had
for?
this like yeah.
I thought it was for you to gag. Nah, bro, I hate that shit.
Bro, I don't mind the dentist. I really don't mind the dentist. I fell asleep when they were putting on my braces. That's how comfortable I am with people around my mouth. Pause. But
oh, bro, you been chilling with Samad a lot, yo?
No, I haven't. But yo, it's funny that you bring that up.
I would think. Yo,
and it's funny too, cause yo, Samad tells some jokes too. But dude, why don't you ready to just hop into it? I'll probably add that whole beginning story to the podcast.
Whatever you want to do.
All right, dude. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ayoo Chill podcast. You already know the deal. We are here with another artist. Solis is in the building. I met him through Sully, good friend of the podcast. Sully told me, yo, you gotta have Solis on. I don't know what you're doing with your life. And I'm like, yo, you're right. And then I started listening to your music. And then I was like, oh shit. And you know what's crazy? We were just talking about Samad. Samad straight up was like, yo, I don't want to offend anybody else in the Jersey community, but one of the hardest like bar for bar people, Solis, straight up said it on my podcast, and I was
I watch your podcast, bro.
Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
Trust me, I've seen that one.
And then I was like, bullshit, honestly. But I say that about everything because a lot of people in Jersey, they like to talk. Not even just Jersey in general. They'll be like, yo, I'm the best bar for bar, everything. And dude, it's crazy. Like, I was really listening to your music, and some bars, like I'm listening to. It's not too fast where I can't understand it because sometimes you could appreciate fast rap and stuff, but like even like I think in your song I think it's called Exodus, you had one bar there and I forget what it was specifically, but it was something like a heart of stone could still be sensitive, and that rhyme scheme just between that shit, I was like, play that shit back, bro. Play that shit back. What? I was like, and I played it back and I was like, damn, like that's fire. And then even other another song you have, I forget, I think it's God Talk. And then in your the second part of the song where you're in there, right? You have this part where it's like how do I feel, something you're talking about, like how I feel about rapping about violence in music, and it was like that garbage. I was like,
Yo.
I was like, this man do have bars, and I was like, oh shit. And I'm looking through your shit and I'm like, damn, like this man's really slept on. So shout out to Samad, shout out to everything. That was the longest intro I've ever had in my life, dude.
Hey,
let's let you talk,
something.
my boy. Take a couple seconds, minutes, let the people know who you are, where you're from.
I go by the name of Solis. I make music. I like to consider myself more so a writer. You know what I mean? Other than that, I'm Puerto Rican and proud. That's it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. So why don't we just jump in right where we left off there, talking about Samad, your rapping, even like what is your reaction to even what I just said about like those 2 bars?
It's kind of refreshing because when I write, because like I said, like I consider myself a writer. So what I pride myself on is the words. You know what I mean? Like for people to be like, yo, when you said this like that fills me up, you know what I mean? And for people like Samad to be like, yo, you're one of the best bar for bar, I'm like, what do I have? You know what I mean? Like if you look at my catalog, you go look me up on Apple Music, Spotify, like you get what, 1 project with maybe 3 singles at best, you know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of feel like I'm the, nah, I don't want to say that. But you know how like there was at a point where like Jay Electronica was like, everybody was like, yo, he's the best, but he never had nothing. Like he had 1 verse or something like that. It's like, that's what I feel like people like try to hype me up to be.
For sure.
But I do pride myself on the words, the way I write them and what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's not about how fashiony the rhyme scheme is and shit like that's a plus.
Word.
But what I'm saying is what I like really try to focus on, you know what I mean? So for you to say stuff as simple as a heart of stone could be sensitive, you know what I mean? When you quote something like that so simple, that makes me feel happy because it's like, wow, I think he's getting the bigger picture of what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure, dude.
But I feel like it's hard for people to digest music like that today, you know what I mean? Not to sleep on anybody. I know listeners could do it, but I feel like they don't want to. You know what I mean? Most of the time.
I think you make an excellent point there because, you know, even with I like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super into the mainstream hip hop right now. Like I'm really into, like, I think anybody it's easy to connect with a song that just makes you feel hype, you know what I mean? And that happens to tend to be a lot of songs about violence, guns, whatever. And even if it's not about that, it's just hype music where it's like, I'm the best, I don't give a fuck, blah 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 blah, and has a sick beat. And I could appreciate that for what it is, right? Because like when I'm running, like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like if I had to choose between something like super inspiring me to like get that last mile, if I had to choose between, like, I don't know, like
Exodus or
like Black Skinhead by like Kanye West, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, you know, I think I'm gonna pick one over the other, you know. But although when I'm doing those long runs and I want something to like stimulate my brain and get me thinking, I will choose yours over Black Skinhead and stuff. So, but like I said, I think it's interesting because I don't think a lot of people like, or it's not popular right now, the kind of music that you're making, you know what I mean? Or it's not easily sellable to people because basically you're asking them to think, you know what I mean? And God forbid we ask our listeners to think when they're listening to our music.
I mean, and I wouldn't want to think that I'm trying to make somebody think. Like when I'm writing, I'm like, yo, what can I do to make somebody really sit here and like philosophize something? You know, I'm not really doing that. I'm kind of just... There's many ways that I could go about it, you know what I mean? And I feel like my way is not the only way because you do need Black Skinhead and you know what I mean, other music for different events. You can't be playing Solis in a club, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Everybody has their own purpose. I just feel like one purpose is what people are painting to be the only purpose. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're making music, a lot of people look at you like you're trying to get big, you know what I mean? You're trying to make it. So what are you doing trying to write these ideas down when you should be focusing on making it. You know what I mean? Like, these are the topics, these are the beats. Now, why are you not doing these things? You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, bro, just because I'm making music doesn't mean that that's my goal. You know what I mean? And not to say that that's not my goal. I would love to be financially stable off of music, but I have so much respect for art that it's like that's the last thing on my head when I'm writing. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing it because it's something natural for me. Like, what I try to tell people is that for me, the reason why I don't have a lot of content, and I'm not gonna put anything, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to this, you know what I mean? In the sense of like the business aspect and getting all that stuff. But aside from that, bro, I write like once every month, twice every month. You know what I mean? Like, it's a rarity, especially right now. You know, in the past, I used to wake up every day and write, but that's because I felt it. So I try to tell people, like, for me, it's the same way when you feel hungry or when you got to use the bathroom or when you're thirsty. It's a feeling and you go to satisfy the feeling. It's not like there's not a goal in your head. It's just a feeling that you have to, what would that be? A feeling that you have to accomplish. You know what I mean?
Word.
You go to the refrigerator, you grab what you got to eat. You feel like you got to use the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. I feel like I got to write, I go search for beats. You know what I mean? It's not something that's like, I'm out here chasing it, you know?
Where you kind of just like satisfying, like, you know, like a hunger. or
The
something
need,
like that.
yeah,
The
because I
need.
feel like I'm an artist by soul, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people are, they just let, I don't want to say that either, because there's so many like gray lines
I
in
mean,
between this.
dude, this is the place to challenge those gray lines, man. I wouldn't mind, bro.
Nah, because I'd be super mad if I said something and I go home and I'm like, damn, that's not the way I was supposed to say it. So, like, for instance, somebody that I love, like, I respect the shit out of him in his pen game, the guy that, TYG, the one that we did Cain and Abel.
Okay, yeah.
So, he started off, well, I don't know if he started off this way. I'm sorry, TY, if I fucked this up. But he started off as a battle rapper and then became, you know, like making music. But, bro, he's so ill. Like, I feel like a lot of battle rappers battle rap and then they can't make music.
That's a good point, yeah.
But he came into the music ill with the pen, like, ill. His first project was the Cain and Abel one, but aside from that, his own project was No Pressure, No Diamonds. Bangers. I'm talking about bangers, like stuff for the mainstream. And he told me, like, that's my goal. I'm trying to hit that point. I don't disrespect him for that, because when I listen to it, I'm like, yo, you did it. And you did it the way a lyricist would do it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I could be biased because I know him and shit, but like, he's somebody who chases the game and chases that, you know, that star quality, that Drake status. But I feel like he does it with artistic integrity. You know what I mean? I just don't have the heart to do that, you know? Like, I just can't do it. And it's not that he's faking. I think that's what makes it organic, is that that's his personality for real. He could be a rapper's rapper and fuck around and go in the club and be like, shake your titties, and like, he's mad funny, bro. So he could hit like almost any lane and it's natural for him. For me, it's not natural to go to a club and be like all dancey and shit like that. Like, it's not naturally in me. So I can't, it's hard for me to fake shit. Even with recording, when I first started recording, the engineer would always tell me, like, yo, bro, you're not saying it like you feel it when I first started. And it's because I had a hard time acting about what I was writing about. You know what I mean? It took me a while to realize, like, yo, the same way I caught that emotion on the pen when I wrote it is how I gotta deliver it.
For sure.
But it took me a long time because I can't fake it, you know?
No, dude. Yeah, I think whenever it comes to it's actually a common theme that I've talked about with a lot of writers, rappers, musicians, just in general, is that I think what makes something quote unquote real is that visceral feeling that somebody gets when they listen to your music. Like, for example, like even that the line that I quoted from you, like, was it a dope rhyme? It was a dope rhyme scheme, but not only that, like, that lyric kind of hit home for me because I was just like, a heart of stone could still be sensitive, right? So for example, like I think of myself as pretty headstrong, bro. Like, I mean, you could like, I've been through a lot of shit, you know, just like a lot of other people. And, you know, when I think about that, I'm like, fuck, bro, like, yeah, like I've been through like people like, you know, passing in my life, losing like, you know, good friends and all this shit. And like, you know, it's not like it's a facade that like, you know, I'm not hurting, but it's like, you know, I put up this front. Not, it's not even that I put up a front, but it's like I'm actually like, a lot of people see me and they're like, oh, how are you not affected? And I'm like, bro, like I'm just put together because I know like I need to be put together, but it doesn't mean like I don't cry when I get home, bro. Or like there isn't moments like, you know, where I think about like, you know, for example, like my mom, and I'm just like, oh fuck, like, you know, like, and I don't see like a picture of her, and I don't cry, you know what I mean? I might not do it in front of people, and people all get to see like, oh, he's this podcast host, oh, he does this, oh, he's such a hard worker. And it's like, yeah, I am those things, you know what I mean? Like, thank you, like I appreciate you for seeing who I am, but I'm also like, you know, there's a person behind this, you know, that deals with life like every other person. And that's kind of what I get from a lot of other people as well. And especially like, I know I'm going deep into this line, but this is what I see when I have guests on, you know, like I've had the people who are just like, yo, I'm a gangster, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that. But then, you know, like as soon as we get off camera, you know, they're just like, yo, I got my baby girl at home. Like, can we hurry this up so I could get out of here? And I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like you're human.
you're human. Exactly. You know what I mean? And like I said, I guess that's what I took from that line.
Yeah.
My bad, I kind of lost my train. Oh, visceral. So like, you know, those visceral things when you say it, you know what I mean? Because I feel like when you said that in that song, like I was like, he meant that. You know what I mean? I could feel like I felt like he meant that. And it's like, because it was so real when you said it in the song, or at least like it came off that way. And I believe like, you know, it's real, obviously. Like that's the feelings that people get, you know, like I'm not going to feel that way. You know, you see rappers all the time, people who are trying to be something they're not. And it's like, unless they're really good actors, I mean, like, it's not going to come through. You know what I mean? It's not going to make me feel, you know, like when Kanye West talks about bitches, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, says something like, oh, like, you know, I get all the bitches. I'm like, well, yeah, I think you do, bro.
Yeah, I think you do.
So
yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
So it's like, you know, you say it gets me hype. I'm like, yo, yeah, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Yeah, dude, sorry. Went on kind of a tangent, but that's
Nah,
kinda,
you're good.
Goes,
The heart of stone can be sensitive kind of came from it was a Bob Marley quote, I believe, where that one came from. But I also tried to interpret that because there was also something where it was like the tree. Oh, I said it in Exodus 2. The tree that doesn't bend will break beneath the storm. So if you have a heart of stone, you know what I mean? You still have to have a quality of like softness, but softness doesn't mean that you're weak or like it's not a bad thing. Because you bend doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It actually helps. You know what I mean? A stiff tree would snap. So that heart of stone and all of that, especially the way, well, you said you're Latino, so the way that we grew up, I don't know for you, but for me, it's like, bro, my pops was like the man's man. Well, is the man's man. I said was. He is the man's man. You know what I mean? Where like I remember being mad little and I don't give a fuck. Don't call it masculinity, toxicity, whatever the fuck. But like being little and him being like, nah, we don't cry. Like we don't cry. You get what I'm saying? But now we do cry. You get what I'm saying? It's good and it's bad, but that's where it all stems from. Like trying to tell people like, yo, we could show a side that we do have. You know what I mean? You don't gotta act like, because everything that we see, media, images, majority of that shit is very fake and filtered.
Yeah, it's a front. I mean? It's really a front, you know, and that's why I even like. I've talked about this before on the podcast too. That's why I like this format and this type of platform, because I don't think up until this point, I don't think anybody could come on this podcast for more than half an hour with the way that I ask questions and I challenge people and be fake. And I'm not gonna name any names, but like, you know, like you could definitely see there's some people who are just like not with it, you know what I mean? Or they're like, you know, like they're going around certain answers. I'm not gonna push anybody to share anything that they don't want to, but that's the whole point to be here. You know what I mean? It's like, like people feel your music. Now I want people to see who you actually are. You know what I mean? Like, and there's been difficult conversations here, dude. I mean, like, even like on a I did one solo podcast where it was just me, and it was the first time I ever did it, and I cried in that podcast because I was just like, you know, I was pouring out my whole heart, my journey, and where I've been, and yeah, dude, like I said. My reels, you know what I mean? Or even if you look at all of the thumbnails I have for all the YouTubes, and your thumbnail will be the same, it's always smiling. It's always like, you know, because I think for the most part there's good vibes here, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like to welcome
It doesn't
people
always
and
have to be
everything,
so
you know?
serious and dark. You know what I mean?
But because it's also hard to sell that as well, you know, like as a business, you know, like people don't always like to be fed that, and that's why I feel like even the media a lot of these days, you know, they don't show like, oh, like when's the last time you heard about Ukraine in the media? You know what I mean? Unless it was talking about like some nuclear shit. You know what I mean? No one's talking about how much they're suffering still. And there's other people who are suffering all around the world. And like, you know, we don't talk about that shit at all.
And that shit don't get news coverage. We
Yeah.
only get... You're good. I ain't even gonna...
No,
Because sometimes I speak from a place of like, I don't got all the information. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just speak because I feel it. You know what I mean? So it's like, not to take anything away from Ukraine, but what do we have there? You know what I mean? What's our business there that we have to convince the American people to have sympathy for Ukraine? We should. I'm not saying we shouldn't.
No, that's a good point too. No, that's a very good point.
But nobody talks about Palestine in the news.
Yeah, no one does.
You know what I mean? So
no one does. And no one talks about like, you know, like I mean there's a whole bunch of examples. I mean even stuff that's going on in China with the Muslim Chinese people over there. You know, it's insane. It's insane. But that actually brings up a good point. And don't ever feel like you can't just speak your mind, because honestly, like here, I've said stuff on the podcast before, even before where I look back and I'm like, like maybe I didn't explain myself enough, but it's fucking okay to make mistakes, bro. I really could care less. Like,
oh no, of course, it's just I don't want to. I'm very choosy with my words. You know what I mean? I try to let people know what's in here. So it's like I'm speaking from a place of I don't got all the knowledge, I don't got all the information, but this is how I feel. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to misconstrued that because they could take me saying the Ukraine thing as like, oh, he thinks he knows it all and this and that, or conspiracy theorists, or you know. So
yeah, for sure. And what's crazy too is that if someone stopped this podcast right here and he was like, "Fuck Solis, man," like he said this shit, it's like.
That's a testament to their character.
Yeah, it was like you didn't even listen to the rest of the podcast to see where he goes to. You know what I mean? And that's even coming back. Like that's why I really like these platforms, man. Because it's like, you know, somebody could say one thing, and it's like, all right, well, did you listen to everything he said? You know, did you really try to like deep dive and like what he does and how he holds himself as a character? And even sometimes it's hard, dude, because like we're gonna stay here for like an hour and a half, and like I'm gonna tell you right after this, it's gonna feel like it's zoomed. I'm very sure you probably felt that way about Solis as well.
Everything,
you know. And it's wild because I usually cut these podcasts around like an hour 45 max, right? But sometimes I feel like I could go on talking with people for like 6-8 hours. Sometimes even the best conversations are like the after
convos. Yeah,
dude, those are like.
I don't know why. Damn, but I don't know why they. Well, not to say what to do, but I'm like, yo, if I had. But then again, the camera probably has like a certain amount of storage you could record in like one sitting, right?
I mean, yeah, but
it's like you just record as much as you can and then edit out whatever you need, but then that's probably way more labor and shit. So
well, actually, believe it or not, I don't even edit these. I don't like the
you kind of keep it raw. Yeah, I've seen that. You just edit the camera angles and shit.
Yeah, and that's actually even just for the reels. Like even for the YouTube, it's literally just this shot of us sitting here the whole time, and there's no cuts. And I don't think I've ever done. Actually, I did a podcast with Sir King, and he went to the bathroom, and I was just like, damn, there's like 5 minutes here where I'm just sitting here. I was like, I'm gonna cut this out. Like I don't think there's anything important in between this. But besides that. And I think one other podcast, some of the other like before I even started doing video podcasts and I was just doing audio, I would cut some stuff out there too, because like we'd be cursing a lot.
Yeah.
I don't mind cursing, but it's I think you have to, like I said, if you're gonna do it with emotion, like mean it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even if you're being funny, like who gives a fuck?
Thank God for these podcasts, bro, because them radio stations do not do it, bro.
Yeah,
they do not do it. They always hit you with the same questions, bro. The same questions. Thank God for podcasts, bro.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate it. Can we actually go into a little bit? What was that other lyric I was telling you about? I think that's a good point of discussion as well. The one where it's
All of
like,
that
yeah,
garbage.
dude, that
Yeah.
lot, bro. When that, dude, it's so funny, bro, because I'm a very visual person in like in my mind when I'm listening to rap and hip hop and everything, and all I'm thinking about is like you in the and like I don't know even know like on top of a tank or something like that, like and just throwing the trash can, and be like fuck all of that, bro. Like that's
Yo,
incredible, bro. Talk to me about that line.
That came about from majority of my experience as an artist prior to the whole podcasting world, prior to, you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff today that gives you an opportunity to really hit what you're talking about. Like, bro, I remember growing up and people telling me, you can't have a song longer than 3 minutes. I'm like, who the fuck came up with this rule book? I can't have a song more than 3 minutes. It has to be hook, verse, hook, verse. What do you mean? I remember being in the studio and having these conversations, and I remember being like, yo, I want to record a 6-minute song. Like, I remember saying that and being like, yo, I wanted to do this and that. And no, you can't do that. People don't got that attention span. Don't do that. You can't do that. And then fucking Kendrick comes out with Sing About Me. And then it's like, I remember being in certain rooms where this guy, he literally showed me like Rihanna's contract or some shit. Like these people were really plugged in at a time where I shouldn't have been in that position. You know what I mean? Like I did not have the content or nothing. So I remember they were like, you know, what's the demographic you're going for? What's the age range? And I must have been like, bro, 15, 14, 15, 16. I'm terrible with time. But very young, bro. I didn't know what demographic meant. I was like,
and who are these people again? Sorry, I don't
they
think
were
I
in the
caught that.
they were in the industry.
Industry,
You know, plugged in. But
and where was the setting? Like, were you in the studio with them, or
they were on. I would have never knew the building was for that. You know what I mean? But trust me, they were plugged in. Like
Word.
telling me low key stuff where I'm like, ooh, it sounds like some Illuminati shit. You know what I mean? And suited up, like to me, very legit at that time. But asking me questions like what I said in the bar, who is the audience that you're targeting, your demographic, the marketing, you know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, I just write. Like, what do you mean? What are these words that you're talking about, bro? I just write. And I don't think we understood each other, you know what I mean? Because the business is business and art is art, but for some reason, they can coexist, but the people in the business don't want the art to coexist with the business because it comes with shit that cuts the business in half, you know what I mean? And they don't want that. They want all the cookies and crumbles and all that extra shit. So that's where because that bar is just one bar of the multiple shit that I was listing, you know what I mean? And then when people be like, yo, how do you feel about rap? It's like, yo, all of that gangster shit to me is garbage, you know? Especially, it's not that the gangster shit is garbage. It's that the gangster today, the image of the gangster today to me is garbage. I grew up where gangster was like 50 Cent, you know what I mean? That to me was like gangster, the game, gangster, you know, DMX, gangster. None of those dudes are well represented today in what is gangster for our generation, you know what I mean? And to me, that's why it's garbage. It's I don't know what happened. The business happened.
yeah,
The business happened.
I think that's definitely true, and I think a lot of people too, like, yeah, I think that just gangster rap has just like it's been portrayed in the worst way in the media, because if you really look at like old school boom bap gangster rap, you know what I mean, like, and it's crazy because it's crazy to say that I actually think, looking back, even though I love the music, old Kanye would be considered corny as shit today, you know. And even especially looking at like at his documentary, I respect the shit out of him, but I don't think and the only reason gangster rappers don't like call out Kanye for that shit is, number one, they didn't really look at the history of what he's been through, and number two, like, it's not cool to say the things that they were saying back then today. And I know I'm kind of just like blabbering about it, but like examples, and this is like, let's say Kanye for a second, right? Kanye in his early music, bro, and his early career, and if I don't know if you ever checked out the Kanye documentary,
It's very dope. I love it.
and anybody who hasn't, bro, you need to stop what you're doing and watch that. But in the beginning of his career, man, like, he was very family centric. His mom was brought with him wherever he went. You know what I mean? He was really a mama's boy. You know what I mean?
And I love the part where he would like go to her for advice, or she would just be like, "Yo, I don't think you're doing it right," or like, "I don't like how you're doing this, Kanye." You know, like setting him straight when she felt like she had to set him straight, and giving him advice that she really felt he needed. And he's a sensitive dude in a good way. I assume, you know, at that time. And she could see when he would get like emotional about what she's saying, and she'll like try to tone it down and be like, you know, keep your feet on the ground, you know, but stay humble. And I don't know exactly what she said, I can't remember, but that part to me was like amazing.
Yeah.
To see the part that she played.
And he wasn't embarrassed at all either. Like, this was who he was. And even though he was like, I don't even think back then like he was talking like hella gangster shit. But like, you know, as the years got like moved on, you know, like this was the beginning of his career. And this is when he also like first started becoming popular with like, you know, what was it, College Dropout? What was his first one that really popped off with through the wine, through the limit?
Is that's not late registration, is it?
I forget what it is. I honestly forget what it is. But, you know, his first one that popped off for the listeners. But, like, you know, he even made a song for his mom, too. And it was all about, like, I love you, mama, this and this and that.
Yeah.
And and it's like, who would do that today? Like, imagine, I don't even know. What's the name of the guy that everybody makes fun of for being so gangster? I forget his name.
The
YBN Melly. I don't know if it's him, but like it's just like, you know, everybody's like, you know, like I'm just a hardcore rapper, you know, like they there's a bunch of TikToks that went viral like a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago, like with everybody like joking around that stuff, you know. And I'm just like, who cares about that stuff? And besides Kanye, you look at old school boom bap rappers, like there was rappers who really made songs that were just like, yo, you know, it's gangster. He's like creating a community. He's like, you know what's gangster? He's like helping out the church. You know what's gangster? Like helping out your brothers, your sisters, you know. You know what's gangster? And like helping people get out of poverty, helping people not like get out of like addiction, you know, and all this shit. And I would listen to this old school stuff and I'd be like, yo, like it's so fucked up because I feel like in my own brain, I listen to that today and I'm like, yo, that's kind of corny. I'm like, that's not corny. Like, that's fucking real. And I feel like it's corny because gangster rap has this whole new image where it's just like, you need to be tough. You need to be strong. Like, someone disrespects you. Yeah, ignorant. Like, you disrespect me, I'm going to pull up with the strap. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, no, it's damaging. Don't get me wrong. And also, even for the previous rappers that I said, like, all that 90s gangster shit, like, yeah, it was cool. It was dope. There's a reason why they marketed it. You know what I mean? And maybe at that time, if you wanted to be rapper shit, you had to be that. You know what I mean? And that's the way that they would accept you, do or die. You know what I mean? You have to put that type of music out. And I think there was a rapper, I can't remember his name, but he told on a podcast or an interview where literally the record labels got him and a bunch of other rappers in his can't even think of the word, but on his
record, on his label, on his
on his record. And they were telling them like, listen, we need you to push killing, sex, this, that, and the third. And this was 90s rap. This is old shit. But the record labels filled with these, I hate to say white, but white execs and white heads of the boards of whatever, telling these artists, we need you to promote violence. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a plot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Almost everything in the biggest media is all filtered, planned, not organic. You know what I mean? And it's sad, bro. And I feel like they're just doing the same shit.
Yeah, and I think overall it has a huge impact on like destroying communities. You know?
And that's why.
And it's scary. It's terrible. Like even I'm not sure how tapped in you are with Philly, but man, I love Philadelphia, man. Like dude, like if there was ever like a second or third home for me besides, you know, like Jersey and like, you know, New York, bro, like Philly is something else, bro. The city of fucking brotherly love, man. Like it's an artsy fartsy place, but like it's also like fire just being there, man. Like it's just a different feeling going through Old Town over there and everything. And you know, I used to go there in between the years of like 2016 to like 2019. Like I was there very often because my boy went to college there. And man, it was a beautiful place. And I still think it's a beautiful place. I ran into a guy in New York City recently, and he was like, "Oh, I'm from Philly, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do like some rap stuff too." I was like, "Cool." And he's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "But I live in." He lives in North Philly. North Philly's kind of like kind of
Rough.
more rough, and he was like, you should join this Instagram page to like like because we post up like every time someone gets shot, any videos that come up and everything. And it's like, damn, bro, like from when it was like at least when I was there till now, like there's a whole different shift, bro. I mean, like I saw this video of this guy, like I don't even know if I could call it like a robbery, bro. It was really just murder, and then like he happened to get robbed after like he murdered him, you know what I mean? And it was just a guy in broad daylight just walking, shot in the back of the head, guys takes the wallet, runs, and I'm like, damn, and I was like, I don't care how down on your luck you are, bro. I don't care if you think that's fucking gangster or whatever, or you think that's hard or you think that's funny. Like that's fucked, bro. Like you're doing this to your community where like people are afraid to even go out. You know what I mean? Like you're giving people no hope. Like that person could have been like just working hard as hell or doing his thing. You know what I mean? Regardless of who he is, bro. Like when that shit happens, it's like, fuck, bro. And I listen to this gangster music, and I'm just like, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it feels great when I'm drunk in the club. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I really want to feed my ego, you know what I mean, and be like, yo, I'm the baddest, I'm this, I'm that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Do I think it has its place in music? Yeah, but at the same time, these rappers who are doing it, and especially the ones who are the biggest, right? Like, there's a certain point where you get so big doing this shit that's not a part of your life anymore.
Yeah.
Your life is mansions. Your life is security. Your life is this and this and that. And then where's the community? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that community never helped me. And I was like, well, the least you could do is not fuck it up even more.
Yeah.
I would say that's the least you could do. A lot of other people might argue and be like, the least you could do is give back. Now that you've reached some type of success, I'm not even gonna hold them accountable, bro. I'm not even gonna hold any rappers accountable. Anybody who reaches accountable, best you could do is not fucking promote that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's honestly, yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of going on another tangent.
Nah, you're good, man. Keep going.
That's really what I got in my mind. When you said that line, bro. This all comes back to like saying that shit. And I was really thinking about this the past couple of days, dude. Like listening to your music, and I was like, bro, it's the simple shit. You know what I mean? It's the simple shit, but like the delivery in that line too, dude. Like it's just like I felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not like it's something that I felt. The delivery was there. I felt it, and it's like I agreed, and it made me just fucking think. And I'm really thinking, and it's props to you, dude. Props to you, because I really think there's other lyrics and other songs that you have that it's not hitting me right now, like remembering it, but like those two for the past like week have really stood out to me. And
I appreciate that,
I was
bro.
just like, yeah, no problem, bro. Like you definitely deserve it, bro.
You see, and that comes with, we were talking about before where I had a hard time spitting on the mic and having it, feel believable. I realized because at that time, everything to me when I first started rapping was be the best rapper. Be the illest lyricist you could ever be. Like, nobody could touch you. So everything I was doing was like rapidy rap. Not much content. You know what I mean? And that's where I would go in the booth and not feel it. Because I felt it at the moment I wrote it. But it's just rapidy rap shit. I don't feel it no more, Whereas I started to, as an artist, become more in tune with me as a person and my relationship with the world. And then writing from that perspective. And being able to be like, yo, I can step in the booth at any time and say this shit. You know what I mean? And actually feel it. Because I actually feel like that. I really feel like that shit is garbage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of authenticity missing in the art. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need, not that I need. Yeah, fuck that. As a listener, I need people to be more authentic. And I think that's why I'm having a hard time today making music. I feel like I look at the world as a whole, and I'm like, yo, bro, I don't relate. You get what I'm saying? When I'm alone by myself, the videos I watch, the music I listen to, the lifestyle I dream of acquiring, none of it matches my generation or who I am. You get what I'm saying? Especially on doing the Sully podcast, like explaining to them my journey and finding out who I am as a person, my identity, where I came from, the type of lifestyles they lived. And it's like, yo, bro, my whole childhood, I felt that. You get what I'm saying? I felt something in my soul telling me, this is where you want to be. But then I grew up and the whole world changed, and it's like, yo, bro, this is not where I want to be. So how do I think sometimes I look too much, maybe the Instagrams or the radio, and like just remembering like, yo, I don't fit this picture here. You get what I'm saying? I don't know dude. if I'm supposed to be in this picture. I know as an artist, I'm supposed to be an artist, but where everybody else is and what everybody else is doing, I don't think that shit is for me.
Yeah, dude, and that's completely like respectable too. And I wish you the best of luck in your journey of carving out your own like area, to like grow and promote yourself and really shine. But I did have a question. So when it comes to other artists, because you said there's not a lot of other artists that maybe you could like really look up to, or maybe like
mainstream,
right?
The underground is filled with wonderful souls.
Talk to me about that,
bro. You already know a couple of them. Samad, amazing dude. Aside from the music, you know what I mean?
Funny dude too. Shout out you, Samad, bro.
Hilarious. Turkish Royale. That guy's like my soul brother. You know what I mean?
Love Turk, bro. Love
Turk. Turk is amazing. You have Turk. You got Samad. Of course, Jay Wonder, Blaze the Rebel, Euphony, freaking
Frequency, yo, I just tapped into Frequency earlier. Like when Samad dropped her name on the podcast, bro. Frequency is something else, dude. She is talented, dude. She is super talented, dude. I love her music.
But she's herself.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like when I think about music in general, right? For instance, a quick story. I remember I was on a plane, and this is before I knew anything about planes. And it was a really bumpy ride. Really bumpy. It's the type of shit to make somebody be like, oof, I don't know if we're landing. You know what I mean? But irrational fear. Completely irrational. And then saying to myself through this anxiety, like, yo, if I died today, what did I do? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And thinking about my music actually relinquished the anxiety of like being like, yo, if I died today, like I kind of did what I was supposed to do. You get what I'm saying? Through the music. I thought about my lyrics. I thought about what I was saying. I thought about the content that I put out. And sadly, people only push that shit when you're gone. So it's like, damn, my shit would actually get some shine. And it's actually content. It's actually something that I would want the world to hear, that I would want the world to see. And it completely let go of the anxiety. And it's like, I wish that more rappers would be themselves in order to say, I'm not here to make music for my generation. I'm here to make music for time, for as long as time can go. You know what I mean? Legendary shit. Timeless music. That's what it is. Timeless music. That's what I want people to make. And that's what I think about when I'm writing my lyrics. Because I'll hear Bob Marley, and when was Bob Marley out?
I think that's like 70s, 80s.
70s?
Yeah. 70s, 80s maybe?
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And it's 2022, and I'm still listening to it. You know what I'm saying? That's timeless music. I don't care about rap. I don't care about hip hop. I don't care about anything. I just care about music. I care about my pen. I care about the art of writing. And I care about making timeless art. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
When I'm writing, it's not about how to make this quick bag, how to make this record label look at me, how to make this exec look at me. It's nah. When I'm gone, what is here forever? You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to do. And I feel like a lot of people like Jay Wonder, Samad, Turkish Royale, like they all have that thing. And that's what makes me feel some type of hope. You know, you get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Even though they don't get the shine that they deserve.
And I think a huge part of that is, maybe this is a good pivoting point for the conversation. Jersey, the community, the culture, what we're trying to cultivate here, I think it's a long work in progress, and I feel interesting enough, one of my studio partners, Shane, he asked me, And he's like, what do you think Jersey is missing to like, grow, you know,
Grow.
to grow and like, build this community, like, like how do you feel about this? And there was something that oh man, Sully, I forget. My bad, Sully. I forget. He posted up this video of this rapper he had on. He had glasses on, and he was just talking about like Jersey has no culture, this and that, and like
Yeah,
like,
tunes up, I think.
yes, yes, I believe so. And I was just like, I was listening to that, and I was like, you know what? I don't think that's true. I think what the problem is the communication that we have in between artists and the people who need to rise up to create this community. And it's a loaded question because it's not like there's a one answer, and it's not even like there's a right answer. Like for example, like Samad, when I had him here, and I've said this on so many podcasts before, man. Like Samad really schooled me, like when he came here. He really was, because I told him, I was like, yo, like hip hop is dead. Like there's no artists in Jersey. And he was like, what? He was like, and then he was by Match, Frequency, Solis, this person, this person, this person.
And there's a lot of names, bro. We can never get all of them. You get what I'm saying? And that's why even he would be like, at the end when he finished all that, he's like, I know there's a lot of people I'm missing, but
Exactly. And it's like, but it's like, why then? Because even like I knew people that Samad didn't know, and even as we were finishing up the podcast and everything, like I was like, why haven't I known about you, dude? And then he's like, it's not like I haven't been here not screaming and doing this, and he's been consistent, dude. Like he's been super consistent, and like the fact that we finally tapped in, and now there's like this web, of people we know through each other, like keeps on growing. I think it's the lack of people who like do reviews on like Jersey music, the lack of people who like really like the lack of places to be, to go see performers. Like Turk has his Mad Mind show, and dude, we just had this amazing Mad Mind show.
I wanted to be there.
Dude,
I wanted to be there.
It was crazy, dude. And shouts out to Turk, man, because he killed it, bro. I think there was more than like 350 people there, dude. Like it was I'm not even gonna hold you, dude. Like when I had Turk on the podcast and he was talking about this, I had seen the stuff he had done at the brewery or the distillery or whatever before. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. You know what I mean? But dude, like this place at Morristown, dude, it was packed. I had my little thing there. There was vendors, like a girl doing art there who's also a tattoo artist. He had his merch stand. He sold out of basically all of his merch, man. And everybody who I had on and who I interviewed after they performed, they're all just like, this is family. Like, this is community. They're like, I've been doing this for 4 years and it's finally grown to this point. And I'm like, holy shit. I was like, this is somewhere to perform. Like, this is something to do. I've never heard anybody else who actually puts on these shows. And what Samad has told me about before that I actually didn't like tap into yet was there's shows in Newark too, right? And another girl, why am I forgetting her name? Margie PV, bro. She's tapped into a lot of people too. She was even telling me before the pandemic, yo, stuff in Newark was going crazy, bro. They were doing showcases, and the city actually pays for artists or like these events as well too. Like they help support, and I've never heard of that either. So when you talk about growing the culture, when you talk about growing all these people and knowing each other and networking in Jersey, it's tough. I know I'm kind of spitballing here, but there's one last thing I'll say before I'll let you take the mic away from me. Jesus Christ.
No,
But,
bro, go. As long as you have something to say, you get what I'm saying? Like, go. I'm loving what you're saying. Go ahead.
It's also like, I can't blame anybody in Jersey for leaving and going somewhere else than to risk it and try to cultivate it here. I feel like the people who will cultivate stuff in Jersey is because low key, it's kind of shitty to say, but I don't believe they have a choice. Like, and like in my case, I don't necessarily have a choice to move to Cali and bring the podcast there, or buy an apartment or rent out an apartment in the city and do this there, because I still have responsibilities in Jersey that I need to take care of, and I want to be around, like, which include my family, which include like I think my friends,
Which could be like extended family.
yeah, and it's just like I don't want to leave Jersey. I don't. So what is my only other option? Is to fucking make it here. There's no other choice.
You would think that the internet would render that irrelevant. I think it could help, you know, if you move to wherever you feel like is the hot spot for you to do it. But you could also, you have the content. You could stay here, create the content, once in a while say, I'm gonna make a business trip to go to this place and pop up at that event to show my podcast here or to whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because the internet's gonna do its job, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is already everywhere.
I appreciate it, dude.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's not like I haven't low key done that already. Like I made a trip earlier this year to Cali, did a podcast in San Francisco, did a podcast in LA, you know, and I did it with my friends out there. They weren't artists or anything, they were my friends, but they were doing cool shit. So I was like, let's do a podcast. Like I'm not gonna come out here and not work. You know what I mean? Like I gotta tap in. And unfortunately I didn't get to tap into the music scene out there. But then I had people who are out in Arizona who I wanna go tap in with. Solis thinking about Texas. I'm like, dude, as soon as you move to Texas, I'm there, bro. If you would have me. Like, you know, let me sleep on your couch and we'll figure it out. You know, but it's just like the community here to tap into each other. It's there's not enough heads of the spider webs, and I don't think there's enough people who care enough to want to. I think they care enough, but maybe they just don't think it's there, you know? Like, for example, like even like with Samad, before I knew Samad, I didn't even know like half of the shit he was saying. And for a while, every single podcast before Samad's podcast, I was like, hip hop's dead in Jersey, bro. No one gives a shit. I was like, I'm trying to like, you know, get people around, but no one gives a shit. I was touting that shit confidently, bro.
So many people.
There are so many people, bro.
And they're very talented. And a majority of them are people who I would say are the true artists. The people who feel the hunger of writing and go to write. You know what I mean? And speak from a place of authenticity, which is what makes me proud. They just so happen to have a better way of like diving into maybe the shit that's more popular today or doing like one of the dudes that I haven't heard from him in a while, bro, but he was one of my favorites was Real Quest. Not even a rapper, but he could rap his ass off too, but he was mainly a singer and he was extraordinary. And I was like, what? Like, bro, I'd put all my money on you, bro, to make it. And it's so refreshing to hear an R&B artist as opposed to hip hop.
For sure.
That's another thing. It's like, bro, there's way too many rappers, bro. There's way too many rappers, man. It sucks.
Yeah, there is some singers though, and I will say this: that's probably the side that I'm even more tapped into